Learning objectives. At the end of this topic, you will be able to define the Cartesian plane, identify the x-axis, y-axis and the origin, identify the four quadrants, locate a point on the Cartesian plane. Introduction. René Descartes. Descartes was a French mathematician, scientist and philosopher in the 17th century. He solved the problem of describing the position of a point in a plane. In honor of Descartes, the system used for describing the position of a point in a plane is also known as the Cartesian System. A Cartesian coordinate system is a coordinate system that specifies each point uniquely in a plane by a pair of numerical coordinates, which are the signed distances from the point to two fixed perpendicular directed lines measured in the same unit of length. Consider the image of Taj Mahal. Suppose if you want to mark a dot in the onion dome. How will you find the position of the dot on an onion dome? The dot is in the upper half of the image, or it is near the right-hand side of the dome, or it is near the right-hand upper corner of the image. Do any of these statements fix the position of the dot precisely? But you can say the dot is nearly 8 centimeters away from the right side of the image. It helps to give us some idea, but still does not fix the position of the dot. A little thought might enable you to say that the dot is also at a distance of 15 centimeters above the bottom line. Now we can easily say where the dot is. Cartesian System. Cartesian plane is often used in graphical representation of the figures. The horizontal line represents the x, x dash. Vertical line represents y, y dash. Y, y dash intersects x, x dash at point O. The horizontal line x, x dash is the x-axis of this Cartesian plane. The vertical line y, y dash is the y-axis of this Cartesian plane. The point of intersection of the two axes, x and y, is called the origin, O. On the Cartesian plane, the position of the point is represented as the distance along the x and y axis. For example, if we mark a pair of P on a certain point on the plane, draw a perpendicular line from point P to the x and y axis. Point P is represented as P, x, y. In point P, x, y, x is called the x-coordinate or abscissa. Abscissa is defined as the value of the coordinate on the horizontal axis. Similarly, y is the y-coordinate or ordinate. Ordinate is defined as the value of a coordinate on the vertical axis. Thus, x, y is called the coordinate point of P. In the graphical figure on the Cartesian plane, the point on the x-axis has the coordinate x, 0. Therefore, if pair of P is placed at a point on the line dividing the Cartesian plane vertically, the point is represented as Px, 0. Similarly, any point on the y-axis has the coordinate 0, y. Therefore, the pair of P is placed at a point on the line dividing the Cartesian plane horizontally. The point is represented as P, 0, y. Now see how we can represent different real numbers on the x and y axis. Since the point of origin represents 0, 0 coordinate, a point to the left of 0 will be negative and a point to the right of 0 will be positive. Therefore, OX represents positive real numbers and OX dash represents negative real numbers. Similarly, OY represents positive real numbers and OY dash represents negative real numbers. XX dash and YY dash divide the Cartesian plane into 4 equal parts. These 4 parts are called the quadrants. XOY is named as the quadrant 1. In this quadrant, x-coordinate as well as y-coordinate have positive values. Thus, this quadrant is of the type plus, plus. X dash OY is called quadrant 2. In this quadrant, x-coordinate has negative values and y-coordinate has positive values. Therefore, this quadrant is of the type minus, plus. X dash OY dash is called quadrant 3. In this quadrant, x-coordinate as well as y-coordinate have negative values. Thus, this quadrant is of the type minus, comma, minus. Y dash OX is called the quadrant 4. In this quadrant, X coordinate has positive values, Y coordinate has negative values. This quadrant is of the type plus, comma, minus. Now let us identify the coordinates of the pair P in the Cartesian plane. Draw a perpendicular line from P to X and Y axis. The lines meet the x-axis at 4 and y-axis at 5. Therefore, the position of pair P is at 4, 5, which lies in the first quadrant. You can use this method to determine the coordinates of any point when you present the data in the graphic form. For example, consider another point Q in the Cartesian plane. To determine the position of pair Q, draw a perpendicular line from Q to the x and y axis. The line meets x-axis at -6 and the y-axis at 3. Therefore, the pair Q is positioned at -6, 3. Similarly, you can determine the position of various points on the Cartesian plane. Let us continue analyzing the position of pairs in the Cartesian plane. Assume that at some point of the plane, the positions of the pairs are at 0, 6, 0, 4, 0, -3, 0, -5. If you join all these points, you get a line which coincides with the y-axis. This is because all these points lie in the y-axis where the value of x coordinate is equal to 0. On the other hand, the equation of y-axis is x is equal to 0. Consider another point, -5, 0, -3, 0, 2, 0, 4, 0. All these points lie on the x-axis and the y value is 0. In this case, the equation of the x-axis is y is equal to 0. Now let's consider an example. Locate the points 7, 0, 8, 4, 4, 8, 0, 7, 4, -6, -6, 4, -3, -4 on the Cartesian plane. Mark the position of the points as displayed here. In this example, you see that 7, 0 and 0, 7 are not in the same position. Similarly, 8, 4 and 4, 8 are at different positions. Also, 4, -6 and -6, 4 are at different positions. From this example, we find if x is not equal to y, then the position of x, y in the Cartesian plane is different from the position of y, x. So, if we interchange the coordinates x and y, the position of y, x will differ from the position of x, y. This means that the order of x and y is important in x, y. Therefore, x, y is called an ordered pair. The ordered pair x, y is not equal to ordered pair y, x. If x is not equal to y. Also, x, y is equal to y, x if x is equal to y. Summary. Let's summarize the topic. To locate the position of an object or a point in a plane, we require two perpendicular lines. The horizontal line is called the x-axis and the vertical line is called the y-axis. The point of intersection of x and y-axis is called the origin. It's denoted by O. The plane is called the Cartesian plane or coordinate plane and the lines are called the coordinate axes. The value of the coordinate on the horizontal axis is called abscissa. The value of the coordinate on the vertical axis is called ordinate. The coordinate axes divide the Cartesian plane into 4 equal parts called quadrants. If the abscissa of a point is x and the ordinate is y, then x, y are called the coordinates of the point. The coordinates of a point on the x-axis are of the form x, 0, and that of the point on the y-axis are called 0, y. The coordinates of the origin are 0, 0. The coordinates of a point are of the form plus, plus in the first quadrant, minus, plus in the second quadrant, minus, minus in the third quadrant, plus, minus in the fourth quadrant. If x is not equal to y, then x, y is not equal to y, x. And x, y is equal to y, x if x is equal to y.